I mean, I can give my best stuff instead of saving it for Channel 5 because I used to be at Fox.
Right now, Joe.
How cool is it to be able to have a guy like Billy Joel come to St. Louis, Sting to come to St. Louis, and perform in front of this crowd?
Well, I mean, I think it's really cool. It's cool for this city. I know both will get a kick out of the reception that they get. I had a chance to meet Sting one time, and I told him what I did for a living. And he said, I went to a football game. I did the Super Bowl, and I sat at midfield, and I wondered why they were wearing crash helmets. So I'm not sure how big of a baseball fan Sting is, but I know Billy Joel is, and I know they're both Rock and Roll Hall of Famers and will be amazing at a great time of year to be on a stage here at Busch Stadium.
I think Billy Joel came here like 6-7 years ago and had like 40,000 people here at Busch Stadium. Why does his music resonate so much, do you think?
I mean, you can put a list of his songs on a wall and just throw a dart and hit one of the all-time greatest songs ever written. I mean, he's also so good with the crowd. Like I mentioned up there that I saw him at MSG this past September, and he just has the audience eating out of his hand. He's for as great of a singer as he is, he's also an entertainer. And so it's the between song stuff too that kind of hooks you in, and then it's like, oh my God, here comes another hit, and then another hit, and the beauty of both guys is they can still really sing. It's not, talking through lyrics. It's not, I'll save the high notes for another day. They both hit all the high stuff, and I think that's what makes it that much cooler.
You said you're a baseball guy, you're a St. Louis guy. What does this mean for St. Louis to be able to bring the two big names to Busch Stadium and have that combined?
I think it says a lot because I know they're only doing combined shows 3 or 4 times total. So for one of those combined shows to be here in our town, in this stadium, I think is a real feather in our cap. So I think that's kind of another side to this, that we're getting a unique combination of two Hall of Famers.
Do you have a favorite Billy Joel song or Sting song?
I mean, Sting, you go into the Police, which the first album I bought was Ghost in the Machine, so which predates you by 100 years.
A long time.
So I would say Spirits in the Material World from the Police. Low Life from Sting is great. And then Billy Joel, I mean, I don't know, Innocent Man, where he hits these high notes and he can still do it. He said at the show at MSG, I'm going to be honest with you, when I'm doing a show and I know I'm going to sing Innocent Man, it's in the back of my head the entire time, like, oh my God, I only have 2 more songs till I have to sing Innocent Man. I only have 1 more song. I got to hit those notes, and he hit every one of them. So I think it just shows off his incredible vocal range. I mean, obviously, Piano Man and everything else that he sings is amazing, but that's the one that kind of, you walk out of the venue humming to yourself after you see him sing it live.
Will you be at the show?
I'll be at the show. Yes, that was part of the incentive to come down here and stand before you all. Is that I get a ticket or 2 to come down and watch this. This, honest to God, on my kids, I would buy tickets to the show if I wasn't being handed tickets to the show because I just love these 2 guys and these 2 artists. But yes, I will be at this show.
Joe, will you be joining Billy Joel or Sting on stage that night?
I will be joining neither. I did that one time with Tim McGraw, and it was a horrendous moment in my life as he sang, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it, and I was standing next to him, and then he put the microphone in front of my face, and I had no idea what the rest of that lyric was, so I was like, ah. And so, no, I know my place. My place will be in the audience that night with a beer in my hand.
Good, smart.
I've done Masked Singer. I'm not saying I'm scared. I'm just saying that when it's all on the line and I haven't practiced it, I'm not comfortable.
Joe, it's exciting, I know, to have these acts here because these guys aren't going to be here forever. Farewell tours are no longer a bluff, and we lost some legends like Buffett last year. So this is pretty meaningful.
I think you got to get it while you can, and it's not to say that they disappear from the planet, but it takes a toll going on the road and doing these shows and, you know, all that entails. So these are not guys that are going to be doing it for a lot longer. And, you know, so if they're here and they're coming and they're right down Highway 40 or it's a state away, I say do it.
And I know Billy's been packing them in at MSG.
I mean, I think we saw show number 142 or 3, somewhere in there. To be a New Yorker and to have the ability to fill that venue 150 times tells you how great of an entertainer he is. I mean, it's one of his songs, and he is the entertainer, and we get to have him here.
I know he had a legendary show at Shea, and I'll shut up on that one. He seems to like the ballpark scenario.
Well, he's a sports fan. I mean, he's a legit sports fan, so it's not lost on these guys. I mean, I know Sting's from England, so I'm gonna guess he's not a huge baseball fan, but I know Billy is a sports fan, and so when they get a chance to, you know, I'm friends with Vedder, and him getting a chance to play Wrigley Field, it's just different than going into, you know, dome after dome or hockey arena after hockey arena. You get to do it outside in a place where you watch great moments. They love that, so I know Billy will get a kick out of being here.
Joe, you've done 3 lifetimes of big baseball games. Do you miss the sport? Do you miss baseball at all?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I watch it religiously. I don't miss doing it as much as I thought I would, because I feel like I've, you know, put my body of work together, and I'm proud of it. But yeah, when you see a Game 7 and the first pitch flies through the air, it's like, I wish I was doing that. Yeah. But it takes a lot of work, not just for the players to get to Game 7. So I'm happy being here in my home in St. Louis watching it instead of doing it.
How do you feel about the moves the Cardinals have made this offseason?
I mean, you know, they needed pitching, and to me, it's a good start. And hopefully, and I would imagine that's not it, but I think the honest answer is there's still work to be done. You know, I think Sonny Gray is a great addition and goes right to the front of the rotation. And it seems like they're going with strength and numbers. But I still think more work can and should be done. And we got a while before spring training kicks off. And you know, it seems weird, like the whole market is stagnant. It's not just with the Cardinals, it's really across baseball. So the log jam will break. Prices, I assume, will come down, and additions will be made to this team is my guess.
Is there any chance of you broadcasting a Battlehawks game for ESPN? Now that they're announced that they'll be back?
No. No, I'll just stick to what I do and go down and root on my Battlehawks. Yes, in the UFL.
Speaking of football, I mean, you got some crazy finishes in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
The unpredictability of the league and quarterbacks getting injured. How do you think that will affect the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. We've had so many quarterbacks go down, especially for fantasy football players like me, who had Kirk Cousins, and I was leading my league, and then he went down. But it's these teams. I think it's become very obvious that you better have a second-tier guy that can play, and then not just a roster filler. And the teams that have found those guys are, you know, in a much better position. So, I mean, as we talk here, I'm headed to Indy to do the Colts and the Texans. And if history tells us anything, it's that we should expect a good finish at the end of that game, and the winner goes on to the playoffs. But it's been a fun year to cover because these games have been crazy. We did that game in Dallas with the reporting, non-reporting thing that went on, and you know, you don't love the controversy, but it's in the end good for the sport because people are talking about it all, and then you kick off again.
So you've mentioned possibly working with Chip Carey. I mean, you know,
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.